So it's February the 1st, and I've made my way to the Ottershaw Village Hall. You can see that behind me there. And if I just move over here a little bit, there's the entrance. And today is the Kickstart event, the first of 2026. So let's get inside before it starts raining again, because it's been pretty drizzly weather today. And let's see what's going on. Very busy, actually. It's a good event. So yeah, join me inside and we shall see what we shall see. Okay, so let's go in. And I would say that normally I would have a bit of a tour around going from desk to desk, but I think today we're not going to do that because it's a little bit too busy, really. So let's see what we can see inside. But before we do that, let's have a quick word from our sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay, where you can make your tech dreams a reality. And now in PCBWay's Project Share, you can upload your projects and share them with the community. And if you do use any of these projects, a percentage of the money that you pay will actually go to the author. So you can share your projects and you can also benefit the projects that others have shared on PCBWay. So if you do have any projects, why not upload them to PCBWay and get them out to the community? And of course, why don't you browse the Project Share and see if there's something there that's interesting for you? Because whether it's PCB prototyping, PCB assembly, 3D printing, or even CNC machining, PCBWay is the way. Starting with an instant quote for your PCB projects, PCBWay will leap into action, building your PCB, assembling it for you if you wish, and once it's passed their quality tests, it'll be winging its way to you in a flash. PCBWay, PCB prototyping the easy way. Cool. So as per usual, the host is here, Chris Green, but he's not here at the moment, obviously working on an Amiga 500 in a slightly new case, I would say, by the looks of it. And over there, Matt Byfoot is doing some kind of work using 3D printing. I'll have to have a chat with him about that. Just got into 3D printing myself. And here we have, I think, some kind of MIDI setup. Over in the corner, an A6000. This is actually my machine here, my Amiga 2000. And this has been featuring in a couple of videos that I've done recently on the Piccolo SD64 graphics card, which is an RTG graphics card for big box Amigas. That project is basically done. That is there. As you can see, it's quite high resolution. That's 1024 by 768 in 16-bit color, maybe 256 colors, I'm not sure. And I'm really happy with the outcome. In the last video, I actually worked on making the pass-through cable for it, which you can't really see, it's around the back there. That works, that's all great. So yeah, this machine is now fully operational and ready to go. I was just trying out playing Chaos Engine on it a little bit earlier to make sure my joystick's working. The reason for that is, if I come over here, I also brought my Commodore 64 along with me today, plus a new cartridge, which will be featuring in some upcoming videos, which I'm still working on. Hasn't got the branding on it at the moment, but it's actually a Sidekick 64. And unfortunately, on the way here today, the machine has developed a fault. So if I turn on the computer, you'll see that, and the screen, you'll see that unfortunately the image has become green, which I guess is diagnostic. I'm really not sure what's going on with that. Maybe the VIC-2 chip has popped out of its socket. I'm not really sure. So I'll have to, at some point, get the machine taken apart because, yeah, I'm literally working on this right now. As you can see, my nice Sidekick cartridge glowing there. I was testing this morning, brought the machine here in the car, and unfortunately the trip has done something bad to it. So unfortunately, that's it for today. We've got the usual machines around the room. Lots of Amiga 1200s, very, very popular at these events. An Amiga 3000, much more of a rare machine there. And if we look around, people are doing various things. This is an Amiga 1200. I think we showed this in a previous video in its fractal Focus G case. And then over here we've got another Amiga 1200 and what's this here? Oh, look at that, CD32. CDTV, I should say. So seeing for the first time at this event is Leigh's new project. It's something I've been working on with him. Leigh's doing all the work, and I'm just basically moaning about it, and I'm trying to give him some inspiration. I had the opinion that Leigh's been making a lot of Amiga Mini-based machines, and I said it would be really cool if you did a full-size 1084S monitor, because if there's something I'm missing in my collection is a nice monitor that I could use with my Amiga 2000, for instance, and my Amiga 4000, and my Amiga 1000, and that is a nice 1084S or similar monitor. We've been debating what would be the most popular monitor that people would want with their retro machines. So Leigh's actually got a prototype of the machine that we've been working on. That's the first time we're showing it today. And I'm hoping pretty soon we're going to have Leigh over to the cabin, and we're going to go over that project. So later on in this video, we shall have a chat with Leigh, and we'll see what's going on with that. So I'm talking to Leigh about a project that we've been working on together. When I say working, Leigh's been doing all the hard work. I've just been moaning at him and pointing out flaws and all that kind of stuff.
Quality control.
Yeah, quality control, yeah, exactly. I'm being like Mr. Obsessive, and he's like going, yeah, we'll get it done eventually. So anyway, this is what we've been working on. And the idea is that it's a 1084S monitor, a replica as close as we can get it. For now, this is a working prototype, right, Leigh?
Yes, the first of its kind.
Yeah, first of its kind. And what I observed was that many people who have retro computers, they really want to have the original machines, like an Amiga 2000 or 1000 or whatever, and then they have to use it with a flat panel, because these days it's becoming increasingly difficult to use an original CRT because they tend to break all the time. And the quality isn't that great anyway in some cases. So the plan here is that we're going to try and make this, hopefully, eventually, as maybe a product, if we can.
If there's interest.
If there's interest, yeah, exactly. At the show today, we've had some interest. People have been coming around and having a look at it. And so far, people have been pretty positive, right?
Yeah. I think I've probably sold about 4 or 5 in theory.
Yeah.
Based on a price and working out how it's going to get built.
And right now, this is all 3D printed, right?
Yes.
And
it's just a printed prototype.
Yeah, it's been quite a lot of work, isn't it? Because of the size of the printer.
Yes, I've had to rush this one together, but yeah, it's all just 3D printing and a lick of paint and sanding and old machinery that I've got around the house that I've refurbished to use into it.
So the plan is, if we can, what we're going to try and do is work with PCBWay. They have a 3D printing service, as people probably know. They've been long-term channel sponsors, and it just makes sense that we can print out a higher quality version of this. That I'm assuming they have much larger format printers, so they can print this out in one go. And we'll probably go for a higher print density as well, so you get better fidelity.
Yeah, highest quality prints.
Yeah. So let me just show people around the back. I just want people to see what's going on. So what Leigh's actually done is he's actually created a back panel for this particular prototype, and he's put a mini ITX PC in there. That's actually running the demo right now on an emulator. But the core idea of this is that it can be just simply a monitor. But there's a lot of space inside, right? So why not use that space? So yeah, mini ITX in this particular case. But you could also put a Mister in there if you wanted to. But the core idea of this is that it's a replica monitor, and it just looks correct when you actually put it.
Or a Denise or Alicia.
Or a Denise or Alicia, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any of the sort of Amiga. Yeah, you could put a real Amiga in there, couldn't you?
You put a real Amiga in there,
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Good idea, yeah.
So it's a perfect... Or if it was just a monitor, it could just be a cubby hole for keeping your joysticks in.
Yeah.
And using it with your classic Amiga.
Oh, you could hide your gold in there if you had some gold.
Hide your gold in there, yes. Whatever you need. Yep.
Anything really. Anything goes. Anything goes in the...
When it's 3D printed, you can do what you like.
Yeah.
So there you see the side of it in the back.
Yeah. So we were debating about the number of slots and all this kind of stuff, and how accurate one compromise Leigh has made is that he's actually made this shorter than or less deep, I should say, than the original monitor. Yes. The idea being that a lot of people have desk space issues. You don't really have that much space. So, should we compromise on the depth, or should we go for an absolute one-to-one match with the original monitor? Another question that we've been debating as well is this the right model of 1084S, or you think
it's a model I've got already built from my Mini, so that's why I've repurposed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in future it could be the other 1084 that maybe more people had. This was the kind of the 1942 monitor shape that people had with the Amiga 3000, and because I've got a 3000, I wanted to have one for that. But yeah, the average person that had a 500 usually had the other 1084, the more boxier one.
Yeah,
so
that's the one I've got.
I think they might be the more popular one. I don't know. But once you've got the proof of concept and design of it, the aesthetics can be adjusted, obviously.
Indeed, yeah, indeed, yeah. I mean, there is another monitor as well, 1084. There's another model which came out with the Amiga. That obviously is something that is stuck in people's minds. So we're going to have to probably work out which is the first one that we should go for, because we can't obviously make everything. I think you said, what was it, a 1701 as well is another possibility?
Yeah, I'd like to do a 1701 one, because there's a lot of people out there with Ultimate 64s that would love a really nice, clean, modern panel, but still looks like that classic C64 and 1702
exactly,
finish, you know. So I'd love to do that too.
The thing is about this is it's not welded to the Amiga. It could be used with other computers as well.
It's just a modern monitor for retro gaming.
Yeah, you basically got what?
But it's Commodore biased right now in its style. But it could be anything.
Yeah. You've got HDMI in. You've got VGA in.
Yep.
So it will also work with Amigas with a flicker fixer.
It's got composite as well.
And it's got composite as well.
It's got that's it. They're the main ones.
Yeah, and it also supports sound, right?
It's got
speakers.
got the sound turned down, but it's got the screen that it's got has an amplifier board too. Yeah. And I haven't got it set up, but these side panels will.
You've actually got the grills there to put the speakers.
Yeah, the grills are there to have the stereo speakers.
Yeah.
So it should be the complete 1084S experience.
Yeah, great. Well, it's very exciting, and let us know in the comments what you think about it, because I'd really like to hear what people think about this project. I think it's really cool. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, look out for another video in the near future where me and Leigh get together and we kind of go through this in a little bit more detail. We can show you how he's gone about building this. And then, hopefully we can get that printed with PCBWay, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks for talking, Leigh.
No worries.
And, it's looking great. Really looking really cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Let's have a look up here, what we got for sale today. It's always interesting to see what people have got for sale. Some walkie-talkies, I'm not sure why they're here. An Amiga 1200 case for sale, I guess that's a brand new one. Some Sound Blaster speakers. Is it a Sound Blaster as well? Maybe, no, probably just the speakers. Let's have a look. Let's look inside. It's just the speakers, isn't it, I think. So, what's this here? Flicker fixer, is it? Oh yeah, Amiga 2000 scan doubler. All right, interesting. What we've just seen in my recent video. So that's interesting. Somebody's selling one of those today. We've got here an SD box, SD card reader. That's pretty cool. And they're selling for $40 each. 3 copies of International Karate. That was a bit of a massive hit back in the day. And then we've got MIDI Master. I think that was what we actually saw being demonstrated by the door. And then we've got some Amstrads here for sale. And also over here, I must actually buy some of these today. Some SD cards. I think I might buy a few of these. Compact flash as well. Yeah, I might buy some of these actually. Cool. Yeah, I must not forget. During the show, I encountered a Polish gentleman, and he was telling me that he was downsizing, getting rid of a lot of equipment, and he really, really wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff. One of the items was what we're going to see next. It's a PlayStation in pretty bad condition, to be honest, but I thought that was interesting. Maybe I could do something with it in the future. So look what I found. I was looking around the show, and there was a guy there, nice gentleman from Poland, selling off a lot of stuff, and I found this PlayStation, which I've been wanting to get one for years. It's in pretty bad condition. Well, it's dirty. I don't know whether it's actually worse than that, but he was telling me that the center spindle from the CD-ROM drive is actually gone as well. And this button's very sticky too, and you see it won't actually close now. So what I'm thinking about doing with this is actually a project where I try and renovate it and get it working again with like a modern solution for the CD-ROM drive to replace that. So I think that'd be pretty interesting. If you're interested in seeing that, just make some comments below. Be interested to see if anybody wants to see that on the channel. Otherwise, I might do it just for myself, just to learn some 3D printing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe one for the future. So today's high score competition is Zool. And they've got an Amiga 500 there, mini. And everybody's competing to get the high score. Okay, and here, by the door, we've got another musical instrument going on, big keyboard, this time with Commodore 64 sound expander. It's quite an interesting device. Maybe we'll have a chat about that later. And here we've got an Amiga 600. And then over there is a 1084S. This is actually the model of 1084 that I own. Mine is currently broken. I think the flyback transformer, unfortunately, is gone to heaven. But at some point, I will get that working. And then over here, we have a pretty rare machine, an Amiga 4000. I was chatting with the owner about this a bit earlier, and I think we'll come back later and have a chat if they're willing to. So we are here with Chris. We've spoken before. We actually worked together. Well, maybe not worked together, but we both worked at Frame Store. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I'm currently at Frame Store.
You're still at Frame Store.
Yeah,
Oh, I won't say anything bad about it then. I used to work in Wells Muse. Do you know that?
Yeah, the one in Soho.
Yeah, well, so you had Wells Street, and then behind it you had like a road that was behind the Wells Street building, and at the end of it there was a little. It was a little sort of industrial building, and in there I worked on Tales of Despero, and we used to call it the Mushroom Farm because they basically covered up all the windows. There was no daylight in there at all, and basically you would go in at 9 o'clock in the morning, or in my case 10:30, and then you would just be in total darkness the entire day.
Yeah, that's the best way about visual effects.
That's the way to do it, isn't
Sitting
it?
in a dark dungeon.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, if you think VFX is all glamour, it is if you want to come out looking like a pasty vampire. Talking of vampires, do you see what I did there?
I like the connection.
What have we got here? So it's an Apollo 6000.
Yeah.
Chris, can you tell us what this is?
Well, I mean, for starters, I was looking at buying a standalone during Amiga 40 because myself and Chris Green and Anthony Jarvis went over for that. And a little bit before we were all getting ready and stuff, Apollo announced this product.
Yeah.
And they were only doing 40 of them initially, 3D printed case.
It's very nice 3D printing, isn't it, actually?
Yeah.
Very high quality.
So the way they've done this, they've done it without, what do they call them, the stilts or anything. It's,
Supports.
Supports, yeah. The angles are just right that you don't need them.
So basically, I'm assuming, because I've just got into 3D printing, this is probably sitting flat on the print plate.
Exactly, yeah,
and
that's
then
what
this
I
is probably
understand.
a separate piece, I would assume, because it would need supports then, wouldn't it?
This bit, I think...
Do you see what I mean? It's like there's a slight...
this bit might be
So they may be
separate.
done it in a modular way, so this fits together, and you don't really notice that
It
it's
might
actually...
be 3 bits, yeah. The base, this, and then... it's
Quite clever, isn't it, the way they've done that? Yeah, it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, saw this product, I was like, well, that's exactly what I want. That's that, rather than the standalone. I love what Chris Green has with his standalone and the keyboard and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm actually going to lightly use this.
Yeah.
And easy to carry around, especially if I travel to a lot of the events.
Yeah.
So it's one I can power with a battery and a little screen and stuff. So yeah, it's perfect. It was a bit more than my budget was for standalone.
Yeah.
But
They're quite expensive, aren't they, these chaps?
yeah, it was about, I think, 800 and something euros.
Yeah.
And then you would get the import tax and stuff if you're unlucky. And
Yeah, if you're... exactly. I tend to be unlucky, yeah.
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 But yeah, so there were lots of different coloured ones that were printed. That was an option.
Yeah.
I'm kind of envious that I didn't get a coloured one now, having seen them at Amiga 40.
This is very stylish
I do like
machine.
the classic
Yeah.
that they've gone for. Some interesting things that people pointed out that I didn't notice at the time was obviously A600 style form factor.
It's a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, mechanical keyboard. I think they were cherry browns.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, we've got the LEDs here, but not here."
Yeah.
Like the 600.
Yeah.
Which is something I hadn't noticed initially.
So this is more reminiscent of a 500, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. And I know people.
Does that
Don't
bother your
always like that.
OCD?
No, I don't mind it. And
You don't mind
know,
it, yeah?
There's a bit of a mixture of opinions on the lights here on the A600.
But they have managed to maintain basically the keyboard layout, which is pretty close, isn't it? Pretty bang on,
yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
And
they've obviously kept that as a, as an
like-
accent. Yeah, some
exactly.
design accent.
My understanding is the board is a custom one. It's not the same as a standalone, just slapped in the case.
But this is actually FPGA.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
And what's it emulating, like the CPU? What kind of CPU is it emulating?
They've got their own CPU.
Yeah.
So they're 68080.
Yeah.
they call
It's
it.
an 080, okay. So it's a kind of, an extrapolation of what a 6860 would be?
Yeah, I think it's all the ones that we know of with their
Yeah.
various fixes,
Yeah.
and not the original bugs that some of them had.
Yeah.
Which I think again is the contention some people have.
Because I think a 6860 is relatively incompatible, isn't it, with like older
certain
software?
things, and I think some of these chips actually had bugs that might have been exploited, like in a demo scene.
Yeah, okay,
And I
yeah.
think, could be getting this wrong, but I think some of those issues the Vampire team have resolved.
Yeah.
So therefore, some people are like, well, it's not exactly what we had.
Yeah.
Whether,
Well, yeah.
It's a different breed on its own. And then the O80 bit is like their own further enhancement on it. So you have I think they call it SAGA chipset. So that's your 24-bit graphics. That's why we got this nice, beautiful thing. And then they've got their own sound. And then they have like a 3D chipset as
So
well.
this desktop that we're looking at here, you were telling me you haven't had that
this
much
is a
time.
clean install today.
And you haven't had
this
much
one.
time with this machine, so this has been set up by them for you, I guess. This is kind of like a standard desktop,
Yes,
is it?
yeah. And actually, I downloaded this one today, updated the CF cards and the FPGA sort of firmware, whatever you call it.
Core,
And
maybe the core.
That's it, the core.
Yeah.
And there are some like little demos that they've got.
Yeah.
I'll just load up the 3D one. They seem to be calling it Maggie 3D, and it's kind of, I think you would describe it as like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 style. It's got 2 USBs here, 2 at the back.
Okay,
There's a JTAG connector for if you want to upgrade the core. Without
But it's got the
software.
original joystick ports on the
Yes,
side.
that's a good point. Yeah, you've got the DB9s.
So it can use USB joysticks, or it can use original joysticks.
Yeah, so
that's really cool, isn't
they
it?
supply this one
Yeah.
and mouse.
So did
with
you
it.
have to pay extra for that, or was that part of the bundle?
This is part of the bundle, yeah.
Oh, okay.
128 gig CF cards.
Yeah.
The USB blaster, if you brick it by accident or you want to load it manually, people have preferences on that. CF card this side and an SD card, and then we've got another SD card here, sort of like reminiscent of a floppy drive, I guess.
Okay.
They're just like FAT32 and you can copy things on.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky in that the USB, you have to have these in the right order as such. So the mouse has to go in one particular one and the joystick in the other.
Interesting.
And
It's a bit like that on the real Amiga, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know if they're looking to change that.
Yeah.
You can't just plug in any old USB thing in at the moment.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a stack that we'd understand from like PC or Mac.
Yeah.
I understand that's something they're working on next, so that there should be more functionality. And from the point of view of like the actual setup, it comes with all the development stuff you need.
Yeah.
So if you know C++ or assembly, you can get going.
Do you have any ambitions to write some games or software or
I would
something?
like to try.
You'd like to try? I'd like to try as well. I don't have any time. I've actually written a game in C#. Took me 3 years. And I look at the Amiga. Do you know what I would love to do? I'd love to do like an Eye of the Beholder type game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it's achievable.
Yeah.
And I really like those types of games.
Yeah.
You know, they're sort of genre, first-person dungeon crawler.
Procedural one.
Maybe.
One set of graphics, let it build it.
I don't think there's like a specific AGA one, is there, for the Amiga? So that'd be quite cool. So that'd be quite cool to do. Yeah.
So I've powered this off a USB-C battery before, and
Cool.
They produce more than the 40.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, they just sold out really quick.
Yeah.
And I think they've done batch 2 already shipped and looking at more batches.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris.
Fun.
Thanks for
cheers.
talking.
Good to
And
see you again.
really interesting machine. Thanks. I didn't realise it was here until we had a quick chat earlier, so I'm really happy that I found it. Thanks, Chris. Let's just have a quick overview of the entire room. There it is. So, we're in a kind of very typical English village hall here in Ottershaw, which is a little village on the west border of London, just outside the M25. And it's definitely an event that you should think about coming to if you're local to the area. Or sometimes, even if you're not so local, if you're in the Midlands of the UK, then we have people here today, I think, from Poland. Not sure if they come here especially, but it's interesting to see how far people come in. So I am here with Simon Green. You may remember him from a previous video where we were having a chat about Amstrads. That's right, Simon, yeah. So you are with an organisation called...
UCAG, which is the UK Amstrad Group.
Cool. And we were a quick chat. It was cake time here. Kickstart always has a little downtime moment where Chris Green announces well, gives an announcement and then we cut cake and we all sit down and relax. And we were just discussing that you're going to start a new event. Is that right?
Yes, so for the first time in a very long time, we're going to be putting on the first UK Amstrad meetup, which is going to be here in the same hall we use for Kickstart on the 21st of June this year.
Nice.
And it's in Ottershaw, near Chertsey. And yeah, tickets are on sale now, available from our website, ukag.org.uk.
And do you have any guests coming to the event?
Yes, we've got Roland Perry, who oversaw the Amstrad project back in 1984. He'll be coming down to do a chat. We've also got the members of the AUA, the Spanish Amstrad group, are coming over as well. So they'll be bringing all their machines and stuff to.
And it's going to be a similar format to this kind of event where you have tables, or you can just pay for a ticket to come. You don't have to bring something. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's a flat rate for tickets. It's £20 for a ticket. You can either choose a table ticket, so if you want to bring your Amstrad along, your peripherals, or if you'd like to sell stuff, you're more than welcome to buy a table ticket, or there's just a general admission ticket, and that includes snacks and drinks throughout the day as well.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for that information, Simon. Hopefully, some people watching this video can come along to the event. It'll be really cool to see an Amstrad event.
That'd be absolutely awesome.
Great.
Everyone's welcome.
All right, take care.
Cheers.
Now, I'm not a huge Amstrad fan, mainly because I didn't actually have one of these machines back in the day. I did have a friend, though, who lived on the other side of the road, and I think he had a CPC-64, and I do actually own one. I've actually bought one from Simon Green. He's a prolific repairer of these machines, and as you can see, he's a great advocate for them. So I would really appreciate if people can make their way to this event. If you're down in Southeast England and Amstrads are interesting to you, then please turn up and support this event, because obviously that will help that particular community to grow. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I've actually already bought a ticket to go to that event. And that means I will have to get my CPC-64 up to scratch and maybe mod it a bit before I go there. So yeah, thought it was really cool that we have another retro event on the calendar. Great news.